How's it going, you bunch of heathens? Today we are checking out another Lazerpig video. It's been a hot minute, I believe, since I've last did Lazerpig, but I love them, so of course I had to check this one out. And it's a re-upload, which really, I mean, I had it saved before the re-upload, but, you know, re-upload really makes me want to check it out even more. This one's called The British Army Sucks. I can't wait to see what it is. That is a hard stance to take. Make sure you guys check out the original. Let's jump in.
This video was sponsored by Gamersubs, who in spite of my protests, renewed my contract, and I've been ignoring them since January. But now they're mad at me. So I thought maybe it's time we ask the question, what is Gamersubs? And how is Gamersubs made?
Honestly, I love how far Gamersubs has come, by the way. Can I just say that? I remember the very first time I saw Gamersubs be like advertised or whatever, and it was in a Russian Badger video before all the waifu cups, all that shit, when it was just an alternative to G Fuel. And it legit, and I saw it enough times through Badger to where it's like, okay, I bought some and I really enjoyed that shit. So that's just super cool to me.
Gamersubs all starts with one man, Alan Dente, the sexiest man in Britain. There he is. Men like Dente are central to the production of man milk, the main ingredient in Gamersubs. Alan himself can produce up to 16 tons of man milk per day. And
I'm sorry, what?
Will find its way into places like this, small windowless rooms manned by our dedicated team of professional artisanal man milk inspectors. Jeff here can test the pureness of man milk just through smell alone. He sniffs every single container of man milk that comes through.
The fucking
job for
why'd he stroke that shit so sensually when he was sniffing it? That was fucking weird.
sure. Once it meets Jeff's strict approval, it's off to the races. Now in colour, the milk is heated in one of these large copper boilers for that added steampunk flair, and to remove any blood or vomit that may have accumulated in the milking process.
Oh, that's gross. That's a gross visual to have. Thanks, buddy.
It's a tough life for old Alan.
Oh, it's super sludgy.
Man milk is then purity tested by this woman, Catherine from Margate. She's been doing this job
Catherine.
for 17 years now. Never once had a day off. The now Catherine approved milk is beaten by this machine to remind it what a naughty boy it is. It is then spiced by the machine of horrors.
This whole process sounds like a horror.
The man milk is left to ferment in these disgusting hobo bathtubs, where after 3 days, it will rise again. It is then fed into the baby mulcher. Horse girl piss is added for flavor.
Hey,
as
really?
Well as cocaine. It is then placed back into the baby mulcher to be mixed into that delicious golden...
Cut the music! You're just being silly now. You know that's not how Gamersubs is made.
Dude, you're a bit fucking late to the party here.
Just tell them it is sugar-free, carb-free, keto-friendly, and has a range of caffeine-free options. That's all. Now, would you kindly get the fuck out of my horse girl piss factory and stop stealing all the piss?
No, I need it!
Come here, Aguri Cap. It's time.
Based.
Gamersubs. Remember to scream my name during orgasm for 10% off.
I think this is the best Gamersubs ad I've seen. To be fair, Lena's is also super good. I really like Lena's Gamersubs ad. I like hers for actual like artistry and whatnot, but just pure fucking wrong comedy, this one takes the cake.
Hello, I'm Lazerpig. What do you mean you don't like the British Army? You fucking taking the piss, mate? Me and the lads will pay you poofed as a visit. Hey, what you doing now? Oh, look, it's a stick pick. You want the stick pick? You want the stick pick? Go get it!
Yeah.
Okay,
fucking...
let me rephrase that. I have certain issues with the way the British Army operates. And I don't mean as in I have an issue that nearly half the military's budget is being spent on a single aircraft project that can apparently control drone swarms and shoot lasers and finagle magic and guess your card from across the room and other mysterious things. And the other half is being...
I'm gonna say it. I'm kind of surprised I'm assuming that they're trying to develop it themselves. Kind of surprised that they're doing that instead of just waiting for the US to make it. And just buying it off of us. Usually that's what a lot of other powers do.
Spent on a replacement for the Warrior IFV that was supposed to have been ready nearly a decade ago. And what's left is being needlessly spent on keeping legacy divisions alive because even though we don't have the guns for them or anything for them to really do, if we so much as even think about retiring any of them, 1,000 angry old toffs will march on Parliament. Oh, you can't retire the King's 108th Piss Monkey and Brandy Division. Their commander shot Napoleon's personal arsewiper at the Battle of Kuala Lumpur in 1842. This is...
Wait, is that... I didn't think that was a problem that... I didn't realize that was a problem with Britain. That they want to be able to get rid of certain old divisions, but they won't. Like, don't get me wrong, there's certain divisions in the US that I just cannot imagine getting rid of. But then there's also old divisions that's like, oh yeah, no, we have no use for these divisions anymore. They have a very special place in our history. They're just deactivated now. Like, fuck, I went back and rewatched the Fat Electrician's video on the 77th. Yeah, that's a fairly new fucking unit. But right after World War II, despite how well and how dope they were, deactivated. We have no use for them anymore. Why would you spend money on shit that you don't need?
The pride of the British...
That is also an issue I have with the US military, though. We spend money on shit we don't need. And we get majorly upcharged for so much shit.
Empire. Meanwhile, our tank fleet doesn't have the capability to produce spare parts, let alone new hulls. Squaddies are being asked to bring their shovels from home to dig trenches, and the King's Guard has about 4 rifles between them. Nor is it that the legacy of our armored manufacturing industry, once the envy of the world, has been reduced to a single factory, manned by 8 guys who have to share a hammer. No, it's nothing to do with the constant gutting of the army, the over-bloated procurement system, or the fact that the upper ranks seem to be stuffed entirely with people who have to have conferences and PowerPoint presentations to explain to them what modern things are.
I think that's just the military in general. So I think that also happens in the US as well.
Is a phone. Good lord. By Jove. Where I know.
By Jove.
Or the fact that half our training facilities are in states of disrepair, or that we got this big blitzy presentation called Army 2020, which seems to mostly revolve around turning the military into some sort of pit where business buzzwords go to die. Because I don't know what 3rd generation quantum warfare is, and I suspect neither does anyone else. And what is that buzzing noise?
No, I doubt it.
Citizen, your unpatriotic attitude has been noted. You will be deducted.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. This video of him doing the zipline, hilarious. One of the funniest things ever.
5 Tesco Club Card points.
Okay, fine, look. My biggest issue is that the British Army
Thank God. Honestly, Britain is such a cesspit of a non-free speech nowadays. Say anything bad online, your ass is getting arrested. Like, that is so insane to me to think about.
It's an image problem. And what I mean by that is...
Citizen.
Okay, look, let me demonstrate something to you. The thing is,
Please.
You look at a T90, and it looks dumb as shit. It's a bunch of boxes and computers taped to...
I mean... But that's up to interpretation. Honestly, I think the T-Series looks kind of cool with the ERA and whatnot, personally. I'm still very much so an Abrams superiority person, but I mean, doesn't look bad.
A cheaper mass production variant of a tank that was built in the 1960s. Its predecessor, the T-72, was built to prove that fancy computers and high-end technology was absolutely unneeded on tank systems, and for the past 50 years it has proven this fact by continuously having those systems added to it in various upgrades. And I don't mean to
That
shit
is a
on people
thing.
who have a genuine love for the T90. Yes, I do. But it just looks dumb. Wobbling around fields, trying to pretend that all those funny armor boxes absolutely definitely work and aren't compensating for the fact that underneath them all is the same boilerplate steel and...
Oh no, that is definitely something I have an issue for. I just kind of like the box. I like the boxes. I like ERA. I think ERA looks pretty cool. I also like fucking armor cages. Despite how like technically ineffective they are, I think they're just a vibe. You know? That's just what I think. Do I think that the T90 is hopelessly fucking outdated and definitely needs, instead of just upgrade packages, just a whole brand new fucking thing done to it? Hell yeah.
composite armor that they developed to fight
But-
the M47 Patton, and then consistently insist that it's actually some new fancy armor technology that they totally invented that's so brilliant it's still relevant even today. I'm not really sure how I can describe how goofy looking I genuinely find this thing. I'm sure there are a lot of people who look at it and see something that's incredibly gorgeous, and I kind of see that with the
I don't think it's-
T90M. There's a certain
Yeah, T90M looks really nice. The one that we just saw with the IR lights, I think they're kind of a vibe. They're the red eyes. Like, I think they're kind of funny looking.
But to
I like
me,
them.
It just kind of looks like someone's furry OC that they just couldn't stop designing because they saw something that someone else had and also needed to have it. I want dragon wings and raptor claws and a big fluffy tail and red eyes. No, wait, only one eye's red because he's a vampire, and 4 arms and 2 arses. And
I'm not. No, I'm not drawing a creature with 2 butts.
you get the idea. In spite of having a main battle tank that is the armored equivalent to a fan-made Sonic OC, the T90s and its derivatives are loved. And the armored warfare fandom, there are probably more people who started their life as a tank nerd by fanning over this thing than almost anything else. In fact,
Actually, no. How I started getting really into fucking tanks was the Abrams and what was the other one? The Abrams, the Sherman. Honestly, they were all American things because I watched war movies, World War II and modern war movies and whatnot when I was a kid. It was the Abrams, the Bradley, and the LAV. And then, of course, the Sherman as well. Those were my favorites.
it's quite common to find people in the fandom who consider themselves experts who can write epic long sagas on the history of this thing.
Oh, I
and
am
know absolutely nothing about Western NATO tanks outside of basic Wikipedia shit and the memes. But why?
I am no expert whatsoever. I know for a fact I know jack shit about actual tanks and whatnot.
Why does Russia's We Have an MBT at Home have so many fans? What is it about this thing that triggers so much love for something that is so infinitely shit? And why does any time this tank even gets slightly criticized, its fans immediately start screaming like a pack of mildly offended Tumblr bloggers? I've made that joke before, but I don't care, it's funny. Well, I don't have
It
an
is
answer
kinda
for the
funny.
second one, but I might have an answer for the first. The thing is, when Russia wants to showcase the T90, they do films like this, with it driving through the mud all sped up so it looks more impressive. The drone gets in front of it and it's all shot at Dutch angles and it's all set to fast-paced music and wow, look at that. That's
Russian
looks
hard base.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Suddenly all the comedy shortcomings of the T90 are forgiven when you see it tearing ass across a field. Now compare this to the Challenger 3. Oh boy. The thing is, the Challenger 3 is probably one of the most significant tanks in British history. Not only is it a vast improvement over the Challenger 2, it is quite possibly one of the most powerful main battle tanks currently in service within NATO, and it doesn't come with the 2A8's ridiculous price tag. What it shows is Britain
Actually-
can still...
Wait, so 2A8. What's that price tag then? Now I gotta know. What's the price tag for that then? Leopard 2A8 price. Yeah, what's the price for one of these? $30 million? Holy shit. So 30, what's the Challenger? What's the Challenger 3 price then? 1.3 billion for the whole thing. Okay. 7.9 million a tank. That is a lot cheaper. So how about the M1A2? What is it? The SEP V3 is the new one, I believe. They're at least newest. 24 million, so it's still cheaper than that. Okay. Still expensive, but, you know, cheaper. I mean, what is that? 5 million difference? Well, no, that's in dollars. So like $6 million difference per unit cost will add up. Yeah, okay.
Play with the big boys.
But even then, because we're the US, you're going to get an exported version, which is probably cheaper than that. Because we don't give everyone all our shit. Okay.
Even with its stripped bare military and laughably embarrassing budget constraints, it can still occasionally pull off shit like this. Alright, it's a discount Abrams X, but at least they're putting it into production and not just wheeling it between arm shows like the last two upgrade proposals or the Abrams X, or that weird looking Leclerc upgrade. The point is, this tank is highly significant. It's brilliant in its own right, and it's a good way for Britain to regain some lost brownie points. So how do they showcase it to the world? They hold a press conference. Yes, the single most powerful tank ever built in Britain is showcased to the world by sitting in the corner of a warehouse in harsh lighting while a politician in a suit rambles on stage about how this will keep the country combat relevant.
I don't care about... Yeah. It's like... Don't act like this isn't supposed to be propaganda. It is. Do some good propaganda for it. Get some good British action directors to create something with this. Spend some money on PR.
And whatever other buzzwords the board pulled out of a hat that day. Are those Christmas lights? God, we just can't do showmanship in this country anymore.
RGB. Gotta excite the fucking newer generation.
Can we? We used to write sonnets about how shit every other country was. We painted massive works of art to show us kicking the absolute crap out of every country we just called shit, and then we'd write plays to talk about how glorious the whole adventure had been, even if we lost. And then the Empire fell, and now suddenly it's, shall we put a bit of old razzmatazz on for the announcement of our new tank? Nah, lad, no need to show off. Got some fairy lights and back a van. That'll do. If the Ukraine war hadn't happened and hadn't become such a big focus in my life, I'm pretty confident I'd have spent most of my time annoying the 77th, which is sort of unofficially Britain's military propaganda unit. There was a big hee-haw about them back in the 2020s because, well, supposedly, they used dummy accounts on Facebook and Twitter to try and influence opinions. You know, like Russia does. But unlike Russia, the 70s...
To be fair, it's what I'm pretty sure it's what every country does. Like, Russia definitely does it. UK got caught doing it. US, I don't know of any off the top of my head, but US definitely does it. I mean, fuck. I'm just thinking back to fucking Snowden in the NSA. If these other two countries are doing it, you really think the NSA or just our government, the US government in general, isn't doing that, then you're fucking stupid.
The 7th has about 440 people in it. Russia has 1,000 people alone just in the department that makes memes. And by the time we subtract the headquarters, the staff corps, the media operations team, the Honourable Artillery Company, the 6th Military Intelligence Battalion, the security capacity...
Okay, headquarters, staff corps... Okay, these two I could see.
The building team, the psychological operations group, and the military stabilization support.
Don't need this. Don't make it an actual company. Make it a volunteer thing. You don't need them constantly. Army intelligence, okay, sure. No. These two, I could see, make this voluntary, so it's just like, oh, hey, we need this for this. It's kind of like the army band or whatever. Media operations teams should be folded into, honestly, these three should be folded in together.
Group, and you actually count how many of those 440 people are within the 5th Information Operations Task Force, and it's probably 8 guys in a shed. I can see.
Oh no, that's where they're all. Oh, okay.
These Russians are getting a little bit uppity on Facebook. Oh lad, give them a dislike. That'll show them. I can only do a limited range of English accents, and you've just heard all of them. I really hope that
I
I'm wrong,
can't really
but
do
deep
any.
down, we know I'm not. Because anytime Britain releases a little bit of the old propaganda, they always feel they need to cut to an opinion from a squaddy who's about 4 pies and a pint away from being
The true Brexit geezer.
yeah, it's the best because it's British, and when it's British, it's gotta be the best because it's British. And what the fuck are you doing? Can we bring back the British propaganda of the 1970s, where Captain Mustache screamed about how the British Army was the best in the world because we had the shiniest shoes or something? This here puddle is the mark of our greatest enemy. Not the communists, not the Chinese, no sir. Sloppiness. That's right, sir. Can't win a war with a bunch of sloppy men slopping it all over the place. If I had been in charge of launching the Challenger 3, it would have smashed through a goddamn wall. Rule Britannia roaring in the background as Ben Wallace steps out of the hatch in full Napoleonic regalia and at the top of his voice screamed, "Hey Amata, suck my dick." Because to be fair, when you spend the better part of a decade bragging about how you've made a tank to define the next generation of armored warfare, and then before you've even built the damn things, you've already been surpassed by a country whose military budget is equal to the profit margin of Pepsi, then quite frankly, you can go suck a dick. But at least
Honestly,
we got
yeah.
to see the Armata do things. It shot things and it moved around, and yes, it was superficially cool, and bragging about how your tank can turn on the spot, something they've been able to do since World War I, isn't exactly that impressive. But at least it was doing something.
Yeah, you gotta
Meanwhile,
see
in
it actually
Britain,
move.
right, some guys in high-vis jackets are wandering around it in a well-lit, empty-ass warehouse.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna fondle the barrel as well, like
Scared a forklift might come barreling around the corner and not see all those people standing around a giant tank. Oh, I know it's a massive war machine of death, but health and safety first, guys. Like, seriously, this
God, the amount of health and safety that I always fucking hear whenever it comes to Britain is kind of ridiculous.
train had a better debut. This other video, published by the factory that actually built the damn thing, was at least a little bit more energetic because holy shit, look at it
Holy shit,
go!
it's actually moving.
Is that a speed bump? Oh, we mustn't break the speed limit on this clearly not public road. Oh, look, the turret moves and it's over.
Oh, that's it?
30,000 views.
Fuck it, I'll take it. At least it was moving.
An actual video where it moves around and no, it's night and everything, and get your fucking subscribe button out of the way. 1.2 million views. I wonder if there are any clues here. Maybe, I don't know, when you're showcasing your stuff off to the world, it helps to have a little bit of presentation.
God, honestly,
Britain is a
yes.
country that is fantastically whimsical.
They don't get it! I'm claustrophobic!
It is a country so rich in history and
What the
culture, you
fuck?
can drive for an hour across it, and the accent and word for bread roll has changed 3 times.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Tamara.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow. It's
Tamara.
tomorrow. No, it's tomorrow.
But it's a country
Oh,
famed
okay,
for its sense
come on.
of humor.
Dear Lord, what a sad little life, Jane. You ruined my night completely so you could have the money, but I hope now you spend it on getting some lessons in grace and decorum.
I mean, y'all do have some. It depends. Like, yeah, you do have some really good fucking shit, but also you have like dry humor. Y'all are really good at dry humor, I want to say.
Because you have all the grace of a reversing dump truck without any tyres on. Well, you wouldn't, let's be honest,
see-
there's nobody in there, love.
Yeah, see, dry
This
humor.
is the home of Shakespeare.
Really good on dry
Monty
humor.
Python.
Don't stand there, Corbin! Like you've never seen the hand of God before!
Father Ted, Faulty Towers, The Office, absolutely
Okay, Father Ted, absolutely hilarious. I love Father Ted.
fabulous. Philomena Kunk,
The Office, majority, from what I've heard, the US version is actually slightly better. Just saying, that's all I've heard.
When you teach your kids Shakespeare, do their heads grow physically bigger?
No.
Mr. Bean, Yes
No.
Minister, Blackadder, Spitting Image,
We believe that people should be able to stand on their own 2 feet. So give me that stick.
Garth Marenghi,
That's
Think
a
of
good
It,
one.
and that greatest of all comedies, The Labour Government. This
Dude, Mr. Bean, who doesn't love Mr. Bean? Also, God, what's his fucking, who's the dude who did Shaun of the Dead. What's his fucking name? Edgar Wright? Is Edgar Wright British? Yes, okay. Edgar Wright. Simon Pegg, that's his name. Kept wanting to say Sean Penn, but I knew it wasn't that. Really good movies.
This is a country where when the government attempted to introduce the protest license, we got a license for that protest, mate. The great British public read the legislation very carefully and not only discovered that they would need one license per protest per location, but that under the Human Rights Charter, they couldn't physically be denied this protest license and it would have to be granted within 6 days of application. So 3,000 people descended upon a single police station, each one moving at random throughout London.
My question, the fact that you even have to...
protesting a different thing and changing what they were protesting at each location all on the same day, each requiring 21 individual licenses, making a grand total of 63,000 licenses to be processed.
Okay, while funny, a good way to get that fucking stopped, but do you not see a problem there in the fact that your government and their obsession with licenses decided that that's something you needed to do? Like, honestly, tell me that. Do you not see the issue there?
Out of a single office and a single police station in 6 days, which was more paperwork in that 1 week than that police station had been required to do in about 3 years. The law was repealed soon after.
Which is good.
Trafalgar Square, in an attempt to crack down on the bird population, the police tried to evict the last shop selling pigeon feed to tourists. The public decided to protest this by dressing up as giant pigeons and chasing the police around. When David Cameron attempted to regulate porn, most specifically face-sitting because it upset his mother, protesters showed up to casually sit on each other's face. To put it bluntly, we love a laugh. There's a festival where we roll cheese down a hill, then chase after it, not because it's some great tradition to mark the passing of seasons or the great culture of cheesemongering. It's just because we find it funny. There's a
Okay. Y'all do that and you give fucking I'm sorry, I'm gonna call y'all out on this. Y'all do that kind of shit, but you give redneck shit for fucking some of the shit that we decide to do. A wheelbarrow, like, come on. Y'all do some dumb shit too. And you do it because you think it's funny. So do we.
Wheelbarrow race with similar connotations. When polled to name their brand new state-of-the-art science vessel, the great British public chose Boaty McBoatface. We're not allowed to name storms.
To be fair, was it the US where... God, what was it? What was the fucking thing? Was it Minnesota? Yeah, it was like Minnesota or something like that, where you had a new oh no, Massachusetts also did it too, where they had a bunch of really like wrong things. So yeah, we do that too.
After storm trampoline.
Oh my god, trampoline!
The great storm of It's a Bit Windy Outside and Hurricane Bob Hag. It's a country where we made up a fucking animal to literally troll Americans. There's a statue to a broom in Manchester that's an in-joke that I'm not going to explain here. The Teletubbies theme song was top of the charts for 2 weeks just because everyone wanted to annoy Simon Cowell. We have 5 miniature roundabouts surrounding a much larger one, and we give it the most appropriate name we could, and we keep it because it gives the Germans a panic attack. And I don't know how to explain.
Bitch, that gives me a fucking panic attack. What the fuck?
Lobby to people who aren't British. I'm sorry, I just don't think I can explain
what the fuck is this?
Significance behind a children's TV mascot that at any point might just show up unannounced and break things.
So, Paddington at the seesaw.
The fuck is this, a horror movie?
George. This is your dad.
What? What the fuck?
The point is, when America does stuff...
What the fuck did I just watch? The fuck is wrong with you?
It does it because it thinks it's cool. When Britain does stuff, they do it because they think it's funny.
Okay, we do it because we think it's cool and funny. Don't give us that.
And yet, the British Army has always remained on the flip side of that. It never used to be this way, and you'll never have more laughs than being stuck in a pub full of British military veterans, but in recent years the British Army has suddenly had an obsession with presenting a professional and, dare I say it, politically correct image. The music video they produced back in 2003 that went viral and crashed the internal internet just wouldn't fly today. And I feel like we're missing something because of it. The British Army will never have the same badass, awesome energy as the Americans. We'll never have that cold,
USA
tone the Russians used to be able to pull off. And yes, there has been some attempt to reinvent the image of the British Army as these dark, secret, macho elite special forces. Hi, post-production Lazerpig here. Can I just say, the recruiting ads for the Royal Marine Commandos go fucking hard. Check this shit out.
Okay. Okay, this is super good.
They come from the sea.
Yo, this is good.
Where one walks, many follow.
Wait, who the fuck was that?
One walks, many follow.
Is that Jason? Why the fuck did you guys got Jason in here?
They move in silence, like shadows. Wherever you run,
they will be there, watching, waiting.
Dude, this is such a good ad. Yo!
They're your Royal Marines commandos. It's a state of mind. You may already have it. Search Royal Marines.
Dude, that does go fucking hard. That's how you do it. That is pizzazz, motherfuckers. Make it that way it seems like you're in a fucking horror movie with me. Like, oh, that's so fucking good.
I'm sorry, I've just come.
But no one is ever going to describe the British Army as cool.
Oh, my
pants
are painted
and
white.
Every country thinks their specific special forces are the best in the world. Okay, apart from the Australians. Which is probably why T-Abers are always so
okay. They're not the best in the world, but Sazzer is pretty fucking cool. Or at least like 2014 Sazzer.
Offensively salty online, because really, it's the one thing we have left. But in reality, we have to realize we're never going to be Superman. We're Danger Mouse. And honestly, we should just own that. What we had was our sense of humor. We were funny. We were creative. You never knew what bullshit we were going to pull next. And that made us unique. And it made us somewhat respected because of it. Tales from American fighter pilots during the 70s and right up to the 2010s are full of respect for the British pilots they fought against in red flag operations. They talk endlessly about how the Brits would use deception and trickery to overcome numerical or technological disadvantages, how they would act goofy and stupid on the ground to hype up the ego of the American pilot. Stupid country size at one state, what have we possibly got to learn from flying against this bunch of old ass planes? And man, this should be easy. And then they get into the air and the game faces are on. And suddenly you have tornadoes taking down F-16s, which in no way they should be able to do. And the Americans learn from that. They learn
we do.
And now they don't underestimate their allies. In fact, they highly value red flag operations with minor powers because, well, you all heard of the Swedish submarine that was able to destroy an American carrier in a training operation, didn't you? But you didn't hear about it happening again, did you?
Exactly. Like, don't get me here. I love our fucking allies, but holy shit. Y'all motherfuckers play down the U.S. military so much. They play down people play down the U.S. military so much. That one specifically, where, oh, the aircraft carrier got sunk. Yeah, one time. It didn't happen again. Like, you won't let that one fucking thing go.
Minor military powers can't just abuse easily readable brute force and must fall back on creative thinking to overcome problems. And in doing so, they can highlight weaknesses in a defense plan that wasn't otherwise obvious. And Britain was one of the best at doing that. Because the philosophy of the British Army has always been that innovation and experimentation can overcome all obstacles.
Hi, post-production Lazerpig here again. I know that's not the actual motto, but if I have to say improvise, adapt, overcome one more time, I'm going to throw a baby out of a window.
That's not something that's unique to Britain. Many countries innovate creative solutions, but Britain is one of the few that has consistently won wars by Wallace and Gromiting its way out of the situation. This is something that is required in a military to understand. Wars are often won not by those with greater numbers, but by those who adapt the most to change. Ukraine's constant ability to innovate has allowed it to win several impossible victories over the Russians, who inhabit a culture where innovation in the military is discouraged. There's a thing called military logic. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I think the 1980 film Airplane best sums it up.
Maybe we ought to turn on the searchlights now.
Oh. That's just what they'll be expecting us to do.
Or, to put it in a term you might understand, if you're playing something like Warno or Wargame Red Dragon, or that one game no one shuts up about, and you're at the point where you know the map well enough, the chances are you know all the best places to position your troops.
To be fair, that's a lot of games in general. It's like, okay, yeah, no. It's like the standard... You could technically... I know he doesn't like it, but you could talk about it with War Thunder, where... you know vaguely where to put most of your like the main routes. It's routes. So
but
yeah.
If your opponent also knows the map well enough, then they are already pre-sighting those positions for artillery strikes. Essentially, if you always do what is logical, if you always make what is the most obvious and best move for you to make, then you'll always be predictable. And if you're predictable, you're dead. This is something the Americans have also gotten quite good at, hence the old meme, if we don't know what we're doing, neither does the enemy. This is why I don't really fear the Chinese army as much as everybody else seems to want to. China does not innovate, it only copies. It understands that other militaries place great stock in certain things, but it doesn't yet fully understand why. Its troops are trained fairly well, but questioning orders and taking the initiative is something that is drilled out of them from day one. So even if they are told to do something that won't work, they will still keep doing it over and over and over. If you were ever questioning the tonal shift between Disney's animated Mulan being creative and live-action Mulan being born of unbelievable skill, this is because China values visual performance over innovation. But I'm getting off topic.
Well, fuck, Chosen. You had how many Chinese versus the Americans? And we stacked the bodies because they just ran straight at you. They didn't try to maneuver. Like, I understand what he's saying, is what I'm trying to say.
The British Army's image problem. I mean, certainly if Colonel, Brigadier, Sir Field Marshal, General, Lieutenant Mustache was sitting here, his exact question would be exactly why should the British Army care about the opinions of a bunch of War Thunder autists online? And it's a good question. They don't care, nor should they. But there is a thing called soft power. For those of you unaware, soft power is the ability to co-opt, rather than coerce or manipulate, people, societies, and cultures into, well, basically, liking you. Since 2003, the US Army's motto has been hearts and minds. When they finally realized that the Kissinger method of killing one so the other 9 will fall in line doesn't work on a scale of countries over a long period of time. And having a bunch of countries around the world harboring resentment for you is not exactly a good thing. If you kill one enemy combatant, you've got one less enemy combatant to deal with.
But you could also turn that one enemy... It's kind of like a Hydra. You kill that one enemy combatant, but then that one enemy combatant turns into 3 more.
If you kill one enemy civilian, you've got 10 more enemy combatants to deal with.
Exactly.
Countries who hate you tend to form friendships with each other. They unite and they constantly do stuff to screw you over, and they tend to place their faith in mass murdering psychopaths who promise revenge against you, but whine and cry if you depict them as the bad guy in a movie. Friends don't. Friends are more likely to buy your stuff and sell you their stuff at discount, let you park your stuff in their country, and generally don't swallow huge amounts of your yearly budget, forcing you to deal with their bullshit, while around the country students protest that maybe it's your fault. Maybe you should be nicer to the dictatorial mass-murdering psychopath egomaniac who keeps sending people to kill you. But soft power also affects your own country. Low faith in the military can mean low recruitment rates. It can also mean politicians can smash the budget of a military without public outcry. It also means that programs and charities aimed at veterans suffer through lack of donations and general public interest. And guess what 3 things the British Army is suffering from? Low recruitment rates, low public interest, and struggling veteran charities. A poll found by the MOD found that less than half of those serving in the armed forces were happy. Training has become too routine and too focused on what can be done cheaply, and things like survival training, combined arms, and foreign postings have become rare. Sports days and adventure training, which were once the biggest attractions of a military posting, are often bogged down in paperwork, difficult to organize, and weighed down with this bizarre obsession with correctness. Combine this with the higher standards of recruitment, and we have an even bigger problem. Only 10% of recruits pass basic training because the army has decided it no longer wants to fill its ranks with this year's batch of college dropouts. They need professionals, young, intelligent minds with the drive and passion to be better.
While that's all well and good, that doesn't work when you don't pay them a competitive rate compared to what they find in the private sector. So it just doesn't work that way. What it works is you get the dropouts and then you make them into, and then you get them, teach them the skills to make them professional. That is what you do. You can't just want professionals right out the fucking gate and not pay them for it. That makes it so people don't want to come.
Military jobs offer no greater perks and considerably lesser pay than those in the civilian sector.
What I just say.
In the words of one former soldier, no one who can avoid it is going to accept $13,000 a year to be shouted at. To put it simply, if you're the exact kind of
well, fuck, look at Zach Hazard from Mike Burn Fire. He talked about when he got out of the military, because what he did was small arms repair. He then proceeded to teach a class on it and made so much more money than what he would have if he stayed in and taught that same class.
You're also the exact kind of person the private sector wants, and they come with better perks.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys, but I don't think smartly dressed men marching up and down a square is going to solve this problem.
It's not.
I've got some ideas. When we went into Iraq, the money to pay for that came from a special reserve, which is code for Britain's black budget. That was around $7 billion. 400 million of that was supposedly just on soft power, humanitarian aid, infrastructure rebuilding, giving Iraqi children Christmas presents, etc., etc. Now, for just a quarter of that budget, I could employ a special division of the military that employs every single supermodel in Britain. Countries would be begging for us to occupy them. Our enemies would lay down their arms immediately. Oh, I've been such a naughty world superpower. Come police action me.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure the US does something like this where, PSYOP. The whole meme of your military PSYOP, where it shows a hot chick in military gear a lot of the time. It's like, yeah, you're a military PSYOP. You're trying to get me to fucking join. That's what it is. It's PSYOP. He's talking about PSYOPs.
I need a good spank. You know that famous picture of the US deploying a Burger King from the back of an airplane?
Fuck yeah, American logistics.
But with Greg's. Introduce the world to the sheer lustful power of the steak bake. And we'll have the meeting out of our hands.
That right there is power projection.
Imagine the look of pure jealous rage at mealtimes while the Chinese are still trying to work out how to deliver food to the front lines without it all rotting, while the Brits are rolling up with their cheeky Nando's MREs. Imagine diplomatic calls being in the subtle voice.
That's such a big thing on why the US has such high morale, because we put so much in our logistics to be able to do that. Oh, shitty fucking food, MREs and other just random other shitty food, or hey, yeah, we just flew in a fucking Burger King. Like, yeah, it works.
Of Sir Stephen Fry telling them to stop being so silly, and if they continue to be silly, we'll up them to Brian Blessed.
Are you retarded?
In fact, we should do this unilaterally. Send our troops positive messages. Imagine the boost to morale when troops serving on the front lines are constantly reminded by their commanding officer that they are currently not in Birmingham. Imagine just how much we could deflate rebel forces by opening up a theater that shows Mr. Bean and reminds them all that even if they live in a war-torn,
spread the fucking
they
spread
currently do not live in Birmingham. And while we're at it, can we put
Birmingham
figureheads
catching
back on the front
shots.
of ships? Britain's greatest resource is its sense of humour and its creativity. And I feel it's being lost in this obsession with presenting a professional image, which for the people in charge of the army seems to exclusively mean being poised, proper, and strict to regulation, under the fear that even so much as straying over the line would be an act of silliness, reducing the British army to a circus. The thing is,
y'all are already a
both.
circus.
British troops were not allowed to use cell phones to call home because the Taliban were high up in the mountains using scanning devices that could listen in to their private calls. And the British spent millions trying to invest in technology which would prevent this, whereas one unit found the easier and cheaper solution was just to have a single cell phone in the middle of the base that no one was allowed to use, but frequently use its number to sign up for free porn websites. This is the new age of the internet, where discussions
That's
online
funny.
are plagued by bots having conversations with other bots, and not everyone is tech savvy enough to recognize that those are bots.
What is it?
This, Jen, is the internet.
Or realize that their opinion is being manipulated by a foreign agent using those bots. To some, the mere concept of that alone is ridiculous. Most people in the world don't even have enough internet savvy to not click on suspicious links in their emails. They are rarely online and have a tendency to look down upon the people who are online a lot.
That's
As a
insane to
result,
me.
John Public gets most of his opinions from his friends and doesn't really question where that opinion has come from. People have no reason to cross-examine their friends for factual accuracy, so they have no idea
Always
if their friend is presenting them well-researched information,
No.
something they heard from a
If I hear about it and it's interesting enough to me, I'll be like, I'll if it's something like, oh yeah, my friend told me this. Oh really? I heard that it's such and such. It'd be like, okay, cool. I'll look into it. I'll do my own little research. Or if my friend tells me something, it's like, yeah, that doesn't sound right. I will look into it. Like, no. Always look more
cab
into it.
driver or something a Russian Twitter bot told them, or more likely someone who was being influenced by a Russian Twitter bot, or paid by one. Russia is miles ahead of us in this game. As a country which invests so heavily in propaganda and is so sensitive about its image, I'd expect them to. They understand what makes
God, they
money
are so
makes
sensitive
movies
about
tick.
it.
They've written up huge documents on it. They've been doing it for the past decade and are so successful. People, news anchors, and the President of the United States of America regularly repeat Russian propaganda lines, seemingly oblivious as to their origin. There are defenses
that's
against
depressing.
that, none of which involve reducing the British army to a circus act. As Russian troops were spotted looting Ukrainian homes and images of them stealing toilets flooded the internet, the best thing the British army could have done was a short mockumentary showing them defending the most important parts of British infrastructure, the plumbing section at B&Q.
I don't know what this is, but yeah, no. Make us. It's kind of like how the US is kind of doing that now too with some of their like Department of War Twitter page and whatnot. How they're making memes about it. But yeah, no. We're funny little guys. Being cute. Yeah, I mean, I kind of assumed that it was like I didn't mainstream hardware store. Yeah, I mean, you didn't really need this. I mean, common sense and like context clues kind of gave me that it was a hardware store. I would have been like, oh, so like literally my thought process was, oh, so it's like a Lowe's or a Home Depot. Simple. Fourth largest retail chain in the world. Household name in Britain, okay. Meme canon. Oh, okay. It's been. Oh, okay. So that's where this is from. Okay. It's a big British meme. We're part of the meme community.
That is how you counter Russian propaganda.
I'm sorry.
Control them.
Let me go back. He's a dirty wood sniffer. Is this new? Is this a new slur for fucking gay people? He may not have thought about that, but that totally sounds like it could be.
That is how you counter Russian propaganda. You troll them. This may seem like a bizarre notion, but Wendy's has successfully run a brand based entirely on this idea for decades. And trust me, as someone who is a regular target of Z-bots online, nothing pisses them off more when you refuse to take them seriously and start laughing. And the Russians find this infuriating. Russian Z-bots are constantly showing pictures of destroyed Western tanks online, especially the Challenger 2. This is to try and provoke Tiabus to start whining about it to make them look weak. It also helps dispel the myth of the tank's invulnerability and places questions on the capability of Britain's tank fleet as a whole.
But the second you start doing it to a fucking T-series, they freak out.
As well as its successor, the Challenger 3, going in with arguments about how this one was destroyed by its own crew, and the second one is a classic example of bad ammunition storage, is not going to work.
No, it won't.
Because, well, maybe you convince a handful of people, but the bots are going to claim you're just coping hard, and then continue like you didn't actually make that argument, and everyone else is just going to go along with it because it's funny to dot on the British. It's Europe and America's favorite pastime.
Of course it is.
The best thing the British Army could have done the second those images started going viral was to make a Twitter post which states, "We have the one weapon Russian tanks fear," and then show a picture of a tractor. Out of everyone, Russia and possibly China
a good
have
fucking
the biggest
joke.
egos and are very, very quick to descend into piss baby mode anytime that ego is tickled. Creating conditions where our enemies act like crybabies on the internet is how you win an information war, not trying to fight them with calm, reasonable arguments. Calm, reasonable arguments come after you've won that first battle, after you've made your enemy look like an idiot, and then you have the stage and you are free to say what you want. Because when your opponent is seething and coping, that is the best time to look calm and reasonable and present arguments, and your audience will just lap that shit up. This is how the right wing, or the alt-right, exploded into popularity back in the 2010s. First they made their opponents look stupid, and then followed this up by making themselves seem the smart, calm, reasonable choice by comparison. It's also why they always did.
Yeah, it's if you seem calm in comparison, people are gonna flock to you a bit more. It's like, yeah, I'm not the one who's fucking yelling at a fucking, like, what was it, Trump's first inauguration. The fucking chick who's screaming up into the air super, what's the word? Dramatic, like why? It just doesn't.
Rallies and gave speeches in places like Berkeley, where there are a high concentration of reactionary left-wingers, so they were always guaranteed a cringy response. They could look mature and sensible next to. What they actually said was irrelevant so long as it sounded reasonable and truthy enough, which honestly isn't as hard as it sounds.
No, it's not hard.
The population of the internet simping for Caesar because he basically said society bad, but in a voice that could melt butter.
Made you say that? I fucking hate Caesar. He a slaver. And I think this whole shtick is stupid. I don't understand how the fuck this motherfucker won so much in lore when they don't use guns. They use fucking football pads and sticks.
It makes the difference. If his voice was high-pitched and whiny, no one would give a shit about what he said. Now, there is a deep psychological reason why so many people simp for stuff like this. It's obviously deep and it's daddy issues. Of course it's daddy issues. What I'm saying,
of course,
is there's nothing lost from acting a little bit more bombastic and outrageous on the world stage. There are times where seriousness and stoicism is required. This is not one of those times. Army generals are not politicians and should not be sterilized to act like them. Soft power
they really
is as much
shouldn't.
Theater as anything else, and you don't win people over by always taking the safe, unoffensive option.
And just on a personal note, if anyone from the Royal Navy is watching this, he's dead.
Oh no.
Okay, he's dead, he's gone, he's not coming back. Get over it.
Always fucking funny whenever you put Ave Maria to something fucking ridiculous. Damn, homie got fucked up. Keep going, buddy. Keep going. Oh my god, they're eating shit. Oh, he's still going. He's still going. He gonna feel it tomorrow, but he's still going. Oh, eating shit. I love seeing people eat shit. That was Lazerpig, Why the British Army Sucks, and going down through the comments, one of the top, where was it? Oh no, this is all about re-upload. I saw one a while before, like last week when I originally saw this. I'm not seeing it anymore, but it went along the lines of, so it's not really the fact that he hates the British Army sucks, it's the fact that the British Army has a shitty PR team, which really was what it boils down to. Make sure you guys check out the original, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.